The sun rises like a molten coin above the endless grass, igniting the horizon in copper and gold. Wind drifts through the acacia trees, carrying the scent of dust and wild sage. This is Suri's kingdom, ancient, merciless, and alive, with whispers of unseen hearts. She lies half hidden in the tall grass, her amber eyes half closed, her breath slow, rhythmic, almost one with the wind. Beside her, Tano stirs, his small chest rising and falling with the fragile rhythm of life that has yet to understand fear. In this brief peace, time feels infinite. Every sound, the cicadas' hum, the distant low of buffalo, the rustle of wings, weaves into a hymn of belonging. But beyond the golden calm, a silence gathers, deep, watchful, waiting. The savannah holds its breath, as if it too knows that balance never lasts. Morning deepens and the light turns fierce, a white blaze mirrored in every blade of grass. Suri rises slowly, stretching the length of her body until her spine ripples like wind across dunes. Her movements are poetry carved in muscle and silence. Beside her, Tano blinks open his pale eyes, his small yawn swallowed by the vast plain. For a moment, he stumbles and presses against her leg, unsteady, trusting, fragile. She lowers her head to him, the soft brush of her muzzle the only tenderness this land allows. But hunger is an old ache, one she cannot ignore. The scent of wildebeest carries faintly from the west, tinged with dust and heat. She knows the choice before her. To stay means starvation. To hunt means leaving her heart behind. The sun climbs higher. The decision is already made. The savannah holds its breath as Suri begins to stalk. Every motion is ancient, measured, guided by instinct older than memory. Her paws press the earth with reverence, each step a silent syllable in nature's endless language. The herd looms ahead, dark shapes shifting in the distance, grazing beneath the veil of heat. Her body melts into the grass, invisible except for the gleam of her eyes. Behind her, unseen, the cub's faint cry pierces her mind. It is a sound she carries like a heartbeat, both weight and purpose. The wind changes, brushing past her whiskers. The scent of prey floods her senses, sharp and electric. For a moment, the world narrows to stillness. Then, she moves. A single wildebeest lifts its head, instinct shattering the stillness. Suri halts, frozen mid-step, her pulse beating in the air itself. One wrong breath could destroy everything. Seconds stretch like lifetimes, then the wind turns again. Carrying her scent away, she lunges. The world erupts. The herd explodes into motion, pounding hooves, trembling earth, dust spiraling skyward. Suri is the storm's center, her body a blur of precision and hunger. Every stride devours the ground, every muscle ignited with purpose. For one suspended instant, she is weightless. Pure motion, pure need. The kill is almost within reach, but instinct is cruel, and fate is faster. The herd veers sharply, and the moment shatters. The plain returns to silence, echoing her loss. Stillness returns with a cruel beauty. Dust settles like soft rain, muting the chaos into silence. Suri stands alone, chest heaving, eyes fixed on the horizon that gave nothing back. The scent of failure stings her tongue, a bitter truth she's learned too many times. The vultures have already begun their circles, silent witnesses to her struggle. She turns toward the east, toward her cub, toward the one thing left to protect. But the light is changing. Long shadows crawl across the plain, and the wind carries something darker than dust. A low, broken laughter. Hyenas. Faint at first, then clearer. Suri freezes, tail flicking once, twice. The day's warmth fades from her skin. The savannah grows cold. Somewhere, Tano waits, small, alone. and closer to danger than she can bear. The savanna dims to bronze as afternoon fades. Wind sweeps low, stirring the grass into a restless hiss. Suri moves fast, her breath sharp and shallow, the scent of dust and danger growing thicker. The laughter comes again. Closer, sharper, now. The unmistakable sound of hunger with intent. Her body coils into urgency, every stride longer, every thought stripped to instinct. Somewhere ahead, Tano waits, hidden in the hollow of an acacia's roots. The distance feels endless. Her paws strike dry soil, flinging dust behind her. The sky darkens, clouds dragging slow shadows across the plain. In the heart of that gathering storm, a mother runs toward her child, and behind her, death follows. The first hyena appears like a ghost, a dark silhouette slipping through the grass. Then another, and another. They move in formation, laughing in broken gasps, the sound of triumph before the feast. Suri halts. The wind shifts, and her fur bristles with the certainty of what waits ahead. She can smell them. Rot, sweat, the metallic scent of old kills. The matriarch leads them, eyes bright with cruel intelligence. Suri's tail lashes once. She knows this pack. They've stolen from her before. She will not let them take again. Her ears flatten, muscles coil. Every heartbeat becomes thunder beneath her skin. The air between predator and predator trembles. Tano stirs. His small eyes open to twilight, the air thick with unease. He lets out a soft cry, faint, almost questioning. The sound carries. Across the plain, Suri hears it. Her heart seizes. The hyenas' heads turn in unison. For one suspended instant, silence reigns. Then chaos breaks loose. Suri charges, a streak of gold cutting through gray. The hyenas scatter, their laughter dissolving into snarls. The sky opens, wind howling, dust rising like smoke. The cub's cry grows louder as she nears. The world contracts to breath, muscle, heartbeat. She can see him now, small, trembling, alive. But the matriarch is faster than she remembers. The matriarch lunges first, jaws snapping where the cub had been a breath ago. Suri slams into her, a collision of power and fury. The sound is raw, primal. Claws tearing dust, teeth meeting flesh. The world shrinks to violence. Tano scrambles backward into shadow, his tiny form pressed against the earth. Suri's roar cuts through the chaos, deep and thunderous, echoing across the plain like a vow. The hyenas circle, eyes glinting with malice and hunger. She stands between them and her cub, chest heaving, blood streaking her shoulder. The odds mean nothing. Fear is gone. Only purpose remains. The battle becomes rhythm. Strike, breath, blood. Hyenas dart in and out, testing, laughing through broken teeth. Suri holds her ground, every muscle burning. Her flank bleeds, her leg trembles, yet she refuses to fall. In her eyes burns something greater than pain. The sacred fire of the living protecting life. The matriarch lunges once more, and Suri meets her midair, their bodies crashing in a blur of motion and fury. The others hesitate. Even in the chaos, respect flickers. The storm breaks open above them, rain hammering the dust flat. In that rain, Suri stands, wounded, panting, alive. The hyenas withdraw, snarling into the dark. The cub cries once, softly. The savannah exhales. Night falls like a curtain of ash. Rain thickens the air until every breath feels heavy with earth. The storm is a living thing, roaring, alive, and merciless. Suri moves through it like a ghost of gold and mud. her cub clutched gently in her jaws. The lightning cracks, revealing fragments of the world in blinding white. Twisted trees, drenched grass, fleeting shadows. Each flash could be death, each sound a threat. Yet she moves, silent, relentless. The Savannah that once sang with warmth now hums with menace. Her paws sink deep in wet soil, leaving tracks the storm will soon erase. Behind her, laughter flickers through the thunder. Faint, echoing, never gone, she finds shelter beneath a cluster of boulders, the remnants of an old riverbed carved by time. The rain hammers down in sheets, masking sound and scent. Suri lays Tano between her paws. Her breath, a trembling rhythm between exhaustion and relief. The cub nuzzles into her chest, his small body shivering, seeking warmth she barely has left to give. For a moment, the world feels small again. Just the two of them, heartbeat against heartbeat. Then, in the distance, a flicker of movement. Eyes glint in the dark. Not one, but many. She stiffens, gaze sharp as stone. The storm has not buried her hunters. It has hidden them. The hyenas approach like shadows cut from the storm itself. Their laughter is lost beneath the thunder, their shapes barely visible in the flickering light. Suri knows she cannot fight again. Not tonight. Her strength is spent, her wounds raw. She lowers her head, scoops up her cub and slips into the downpour once more. The night becomes a blur of motion. Rain, wind, heartbeat, breath. Each flash of lightning reveals the chase in fragments. Predators gaining, mother fleeing. For every step forward, the world pushes back. But she moves without hesitation, as if the storm itself has chosen her to defy it. The storm breaks suddenly. Rain slows, leaving behind a shimmering silence. The savannah glistens under the faint glow of a fractured moon. Suri pauses atop a low ridge, her body shaking, fur plastered to her sides. She lowers the cub gently into the wet grass, her tongue brushing his head. Reassurance or farewell, she doesn't know. Below, mist rises over a flooded plain, reflecting the pale light. The air is thick with the scent of water and mud. For the first time in hours, there is no sound of pursuit. Only the steady pulse of crickets returning to life. For one brief breath, the world remembers peace. Dawn bleeds slowly into the horizon. Pale pink, then gold, washing away the storm. The world smells new again, cleansed and heavy with promise. Suri lies curled around her cub, her breath deep but ragged. Tano sleeps, small body rising and falling with quiet trust. The hyenas are gone, at least for now. Yet the danger remains. Hunger, exhaustion. The fragile line between safety and survival. Suri lifts her head, eyes scanning the endless plain. A herd of zebra moves in the far distance, shimmering like ghosts in the light. She knows she must move again soon. But for this moment, beneath the warming sun, she allows herself stillness. A rare fleeting grace in a world that offers none. The savannah wakes in silence. The storm's scars have already vanished, replaced by the shimmer of heat rising from the earth. The air tastes of dust and dry wind. Suri walks slowly now, her steps heavy, her flanks thin beneath her coat. Each breath rasps her body a vessel of will more than strength. Tano follows clumsily, his paws too small for the cracked soil, his ribs faint beneath his fur. The promise of dawn has faded into hunger. Around them the land stretches empty. No sound of herds, no trace of life, only the dry whisper of grass bending to the wind. But still she moves. To stop is to die, and she is not ready to surrender to silence. Hours pass. The sun burns high, cruel and indifferent. Suri halts beneath the brittle shadow of an acacia and lies down, her sides heaving. Tano collapses beside her, eyes half closed, too tired to move. Flies gather. The air trembles with heat. Her gaze drifts across the horizon, a mirage of shapes, shimmering and false. She knows better than to hope, yet something moves beyond the haze. The faint silhouette of antelope, distant, real. Her heart stirs, though her body protests. Slowly, she rises, every muscle screaming. The cub lifts his head, whimpering softly. She lowers her face to him, breathes in his scent, and steps toward the light. She stalks again, though her limbs feel like stone. The antelope graze near a dry riverbed, their movements calm, unaware. The world becomes quiet, every sound swallowed by tension. Her body lowers, tail flicking once, twice. The rhythm returns, muscle memory overriding exhaustion. She moves forward, inch by inch, until the wind shifts. A single antelope raises its head. Their eyes meet, hunter and hunted, bound by the law that shapes them both. Suri springs. Her power erupts from stillness like thunder after drought. Dust explodes beneath her paws. The herd scatters, the plain trembles. The ancient dance begins again. The chase ends in blood and breath. The dust settles slowly, revealing Suri's form draped over her kill. The antelope's body lies still, its final moment already fading into the silence of the plains. Suri's sides heave, her eyes distant. Not in triumph, but relief. She eats slowly, reverently, her body shaking as life returns in fragments. Then, as though remembering a promise, she lifts her head toward the horizon. The cub, her cub. She rises again, staggering beneath the weight of meat clutched in her jaws, and turns back toward the shadow of the acacia. The light burns low, red and soft. The Savannah, once cruel, watches in quiet respect. By the time she returns, dusk has fallen. The horizon glows faintly violet, the first stars trembling into view. Tano stirs at the sound of her steps, his weak mule slicing through the silence. She drops the kill beside him and nuzzles his head. He eats clumsily, tearing small pieces with milk teeth. For the first time in days, peace returns, fragile, fleeting, but real. Suri lies beside him, watching the last light fade. The air cools, carrying the scent of rain far away. Somewhere beyond the dark, the hyenas still live, and she knows they will come again. But tonight, her cub sleeps full. His belly warm, his heartbeat steady against hers. In the endless cycle of life and death, for this one breath, they have won. The night hums with quiet menace. The air is thick and still, the kind of silence that hides listening eyes. Suri lies half awake, her body curved protectively around her cub. The remnants of the kill rest nearby, dark against the pale dust. A breeze stirs, soft at first, then sharper, carrying the unmistakable stench of hyena. She lifts her head, ears twitching, eyes glowing faintly in the dark. The stars seem to dim. The laughter comes, distant, rising, rolling like thunder over the plain. She rises silently, every muscle alive again, her mind already mapping the escape. But the night is long, and hunger has many teeth. The first shadow moves at the edge of the grass, slow and deliberate. Then another, and another. They come soundless now, no laughter. Only the whisper of pause and hunger. The matriarch leads them, her eyes twin embers in the dark. Suri steps forward, placing herself between her cub and the advancing shapes. Her breath is calm, her gaze unwavering. Around her, the night stretches taut. The hyenas spread in a crescent, closing the circle. She growls low, deep from the earth itself. A sound that belongs to all mothers who have ever fought for their young. The wind dies. The savannah waits. The matriarch lunges, breaking the silence with a snarl. Suri meets her mid-leap, the clash echoing like stone on stone. The others surge forward, But she moves with terrifying grace, not wild, but deliberate. Her claws tear through fur and dust. Her teeth find the shoulder of her oldest enemy. The hyena shrieks, staggering back. Blood spatters the dry earth. Suri spins, shielding Tano with her body, her flanks heaving, her breath ragged. The others hesitate, watching their leader retreat. For the first time, doubt flickers in their eyes. The Savannah holds its breath again, suspended between retreat and vengeance. The wounded matriarch snarls, backing into the shadows. The others circle, torn between instinct and fear. Suri stands tall, chest rising and falling, her fur matted with blood and dust. Tano presses against her leg, his eyes wide, silent. She knows they are not gone. They are waiting for her to weaken. The night feels endless. Every sound, the chirp of crickets, the sigh of grass, feels sharp, amplified, dangerous. She moves slowly, guiding the cub toward the nearest rocks, searching for ground where they can't be surrounded. The stars shift overhead, cold witnesses to the oldest war in the world. They reach the rocks at dawn. The light returns in soft gold, washing the plains clean of shadow. Suri collapses beneath a ledge, her body trembling from exhaustion and pain. Tano curls against her chest, his eyes already closing. The hyenas are gone. For now. The wind shifts again, warm and forgiving, carrying the scent of rain and grass. For the first time in many days, Suri allows her body to rest. The Savannah exhales with her. Above them, vultures glide lazily, but they will find no death here. Not yet. Against every cruelty, every law of the wild, love has endured another night. The dawn light fades quickly into shadow. Clouds gather again, heavy and low, painting the sky in bruised gray. Suri lifts her head from the rock's edge, eyes narrow and distant. The air feels different, thicker, tense. She knows this silence too well. It is the stillness before a storm, the pause before death's arrival. Tano stirs, mewling softly, unaware. She nudges him gently toward the shelter of a hollow, her movements slower now, deliberate, her body trembling with hidden pain. The scent reaches her first. That familiar rot of hyena breath, carried on a restless wind. They've come. Not for hunger alone, but for vengeance. They arrive with the rain, shapes emerging through mist and wind, their laughter low and broken, blending with the thunder. The matriarch limps, but does not falter. Her eyes burn brighter than the storm behind her. Suri stands, her tail flicking once, her breath steady. There is no choice now, no retreat. The cub huddles behind the rocks, eyes wide, chest fluttering like a small drum. Lightning splits the sky, revealing the circle forming once again. Suri growls, the sound deep, resonant, ancient. Not just a warning, but a declaration. The Savannah answers with thunder. The first strike comes fast, too fast. One hyena lunges from her blind side, teeth catching her flank. She roars, spinning, claws slashing through the air. The rain becomes chaos, the ground turning to mud beneath their struggle. She fights like memory, muscle, instinct, pain, all woven together into defiance. Another hyena charges. She meets it with a snarl that splits the air. Blood splashes against the stones, washing away as quickly as it falls. Above the storm's noise, Tano cries. Small, terrified, alive. That sound fills her with a strength beyond pain. She surges forward again, fury renewed. The matriarch circles to strike again, limping yet relentless. Suri's sides heave, breath tearing through her chest, her eyes fixed with quiet rage. They clash once more. A brutal, wordless collision. This time, the sound of it echoes across the plains, rolling like thunder long after the lightning fades. Dust and rain blend into mist around them. For a heartbeat, both vanish inside it. Then, silence. The storm softens. When the mist clears, the matriarch lies still, her body half buried in mud. Suri stands over her, trembling, blood streaking down her leg. Victory tastes of iron and sorrow. She turns, searching for her cub through the broken quiet. There, small and shivering, eyes wide as dawn itself. She limps toward him, collapsing beside the hollow. He presses against her, nuzzling her chest, his small cry fading into her steady, slowing breath. Around them, the savannah begins to wake again. Insects hum, birds call, and light spills gently through the parting clouds. The storm is gone. The world, as always, moves on. Suri's head lowers beside her cub. Her eyes close, calm and unafraid. In the stillness, the circle completes, not an ending, but a return. Life, reclaimed by light. Dawn drifts slowly across the plains. The rain has washed the world clean. Every leaf glistens. Every blade of grass bends under pearls of light. The sky opens wide, vast and forgiving. From the hollow where the storm had raged, a cub stirs. Tano rises on unsteady legs, blinking at the new sun. Around him, silence holds not fear, but promise. The scent of his mother lingers faintly on the wind. Warm, familiar, eternal. He presses his face into the earth where she last lay, and the dust clings to him like memory. Life does not mourn in the wild. It continues. The savannah breathes again, endless and alive. Days pass. The cub learns to walk farther, to listen, to hunt shadows in the grass. He drinks from puddles left by the storm, chases butterflies that shimmer like fire. The world that once threatened him now teaches him, patient, steady, kind in its own fierce way. Above him, vultures circle lazily, not in hunger but habit. The savannah hums with quiet renewal. Where blood once stained the ground, shoots of green emerge. The rhythm of life returns, not gentle, but eternal. Tano lifts his head toward the wind, and for a heartbeat he swears he hears her. The echo of a roar that once shook the plains. The sun climbs higher, seasons turning quietly beneath its gaze. Tano grows stronger, leaner, his movements echoing hers. The same grace, the same stillness before motion. The savannah has become his teacher now, the wind his constant companion. Hyenas still roam, but they keep their distance. Balance has been restored, not through victory, but through time. Every death here feeds new light. Every silence becomes song again. The circle never ends, only changes shape. And in his eyes, amber like hers, the memory of courage burns quietly on. Years later, the plains are golden again. Endless. Alive. A grown lion moves through the tall grass, muscles rippling like wind over sand. His mane catches the light, dark and regal. He moves without fear, his eyes calm and knowing. The savannah watches him with quiet recognition. Of Suri, born of storm and struggle, he pauses by the rocks where the earth still remembers her scent, and for a moment he lowers his head, as though listening to something only he can hear. Then he moves on, toward the horizon, toward life's unending call. As the sun sets, the savannah glows with the light of everything that has been and everything that will come. The air hums, insects, birds, the pulse of existence itself. The wind carries voices that no longer belong to this world. Echoes of the hunt, of the storm, of the mother, who stood against the wild and became part of it. In the end, Nothing is lost here. Every life returns to the earth. Every breath to the sky. The savannah remembers all who have walked its golden bones. And as night falls, Tano's roar rises across the plain. Deep, resonant, alive. The circle begins again.